Here are 10 things that you need to know before buying pre-construction. Hello everyone, it's Nikola here with Platinum Pre-Construction. I hope that you're doing well. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Number 1, deposit. One of the main differences when purchasing a pre-construction property as opposed to a resale property, it is the way it is financed. On a resale property, you can put down as little as 5% towards the purchase price, and your mortgage kicks in depending on your closing day, which is typically 30 to 60 days. On a pre-construction, however, you're often required to have at least 20% down payment. International buyers pay up to 35%. Also, you don't have a mortgage until the building is registered and a title is transferred to your name. 20% down payment may seem high. Luckily, builders don't require a lump sum payment all at once. The payment is broken up into smaller installments made in what is usually referred to as the deposit structure. The typical deposit structure is as follows. It's $5,000 on signing, a balance of 5% in 30 days, another 5% within the first year, and the remaining deposit balance will vary depending on the developer and the project. Some developers allow a super extended deposit structure with the final 5% on closing. This automatically brings us to the step number 2, mortgage pre-approval. Let me repeat this. When you're buying pre-construction, there is no mortgage until the project is completed, the building is registered, and your unit title is transferred to your name. Even if there is no mortgage right on, the developer will ask for a mortgage pre-approval right after you sign the agreement of purchase. The first thing that you should do before buying pre-construction is to go to your bank or your mortgage broker and figure out how much money you are pre-approved for. If you don't have a lender that you're working with, feel free to reach out and someone from my power team will assist you. Number 3, submitting worksheets. Before we go any further, I like to clear up one common misconception. A worksheet is not a binding agreement, a commitment, or a promise to buy anything, even if it's filled for a specific suite. It's just a way of stating your interest in purchasing a unit. This distinction is an important one since many buyers mistakenly assume that submitting worksheets will be a legal obligation to purchase. Put simply, a worksheet is a document that buyers fill out to express their interest in purchasing a unit in a particular pre-construction development. You will use this sheet to indicate which layouts and floors you're most interested in. In the initial stages of the project launch, you will typically find space to enter up to 3 preferences. When should you fill out the worksheet? I suggest filling out your worksheet as soon as possible. While it's true that developers will set a deadline for submissions, getting your worksheet early may help you to secure your ideal unit. In some highly demanding projects, you will be able to submit a worksheet even before the developer releases prices and floor plans. Number 4, 10 days cooling off period. So when you submit a worksheet for a condo purchase and the worksheet gets accepted, the developer will send you the agreement of purchase and sale for signing. Once the document is signed by both parties, you are given a 10 days cooling off period by Ontario law. The cooling off period is automatically granted to all pre-construction condo purchases from a builder in Ontario. In situations where you're buying a freehold residence, it's worth taking an extra measure and checking with your lawyer to determine if this 10-day window still applies. During this period, you can walk out of the deal with no obligations and no penalties to you. During the 10-day cooling off period, it is very important that your purchase agreement is reviewed by a lawyer who specializes in pre-construction. I don't want to go too much into legal details, still, I do want to mention one thing. The main amendments that the lawyers would push, like assignment amendment, capping the levies, and the lease clause, are nowadays already included in the agreement. The lawyer will explain this during the 10 days cooling off period. Number 5. Interim occupancy vs final closing. When you purchase a brand new condo and finally get the keys to your suite, many buyers are surprised to find out that their new home is not theirs yet. Although this is an exciting phase in the new home ownership process, it is actually not the ownership phase because the title hasn't been transferred to you yet. This phase is called interim occupancy or phantom rent, and it allows a builder to finish construction while also organizing an orderly move-in process for what could be hundreds of buyers. When a building is declared fit for the occupancy by the municipality, condo buyers can start moving in. Interim occupancy starts sequentially from the lower floors as the builders work their way up to complete each suite and common elements. If you purchase a unit on the lower floors, you will be in the interim occupancy the longest. Once you get the keys, you will be able to move in or rent your unit. Make sure that in your agreement to purchase, you have the right to lease during interim occupancy. Have in mind that the building is still in the construction and the amenities are not completed, so this might impact the amount of rent that you can charge. Number 6. The interim occupancy fee. During the interim occupancy period, the developer will charge an interim occupancy fee. This fee is made up of 3 parts: interest on the unpaid balance of the purchase price of your condo, an estimate of the municipal taxes for your unit, and a projected common element expense contribution to keep the building running. A lot of you are probably scratching your head right now and thinking, holy smokes, what did this guy just say? But don't worry, this math is super easy, and on my YouTube channel you will be able to see those numbers crunched in a separate video. The interim occupancy fee is usually charged monthly and requested in post-dated checks made to the developer. It is misconception that a builder profits or has any benefit to gain from extending this phase. Furthermore, it is in a builder's best interest to transfer the title as soon as possible. Builders make their profits when they can provide a title and register the project, which can only be done when the building is complete. I assure you that you and your builder both share the same goal to get your building registered as soon as possible. Many buyers, especially on the lower floors, will likely be moving into a construction zone. The common areas may not be complete, and even some of the amenities may still be under construction as developers leave it for the end. But the building has to be safe for living, as a municipal inspector will have inspected the building and determined that it is fit for occupancy. Some of the requirements for the occupancy include safe access to the unit, running water, sanitary facilities, and a functional kitchen. Number 7. Final closing. The interim occupancy ends on final closing. Final closing occurs once construction is complete and the developer is ready to register the condominium. Ownership is now transferred to individual unit purchasers and interim occupancy now ends. At this time, your mortgage kicks in and you start paying it off. As the closing day approaches, your lawyer will provide a statement of adjustments a document that outlines financial adjustments that will be made as the property is transferred from the vendor to you. This payment covers the remaining closing costs such as fees, title insurance, land transfer tax, and the remainder of your down payment if applicable. Closing costs on pre-construction unit are different than closing on a resale unit. These days, developers tend to cap development charges so you don't have surprises on closing. Number 8, assignment sale. When purchasing a pre-construction condo, the buyer receives ownership of a contract, a piece of paper basically. This contract is called the agreement of purchase and sale. The original buyer can choose to sell the contract during the waiting period, which can last for years until the building is completed and registered. An assignment is a transaction where the original buyer of the property, the assignor, allows another buyer, the assignee, to take over the buyer's rights and obligations of the agreement of purchase and sale. This happens before the original buyer closes on the property. If you decide to sell a unit as an assignment, in the first step, you should refer to the agreement of purchase and sale and check if assignment sale is allowed. While most builders allow assignments, there is usually an assignment fee that must be paid to the builder. There may be additional requirements as well. The most common one is being that the builder has to approve the assignment. Even though you are allowed to sell your unit as an assignment, most pre-construction agreements of purchase and sale from Toronto builders do not allow marketing of an assignment. So, while the builder may give you the right to assign your contract, they restrict you from posting it to the MLS or advertising it online. This makes selling an assignment extremely difficult. So how to find a buyer for the assignment? The best and most efficient way is to work with a real estate agent specializing in pre-construction and assignments. This is just one of the possible options where my team and I kick in, and we will be more than happy to assist. Number 9, the difference between resale and pre-construction price. When you buy a resale, and that is something that is already built, you're paying the price at the current market conditions. If the market is down and you are working with a professional real estate agent who will negotiate the deal, you might get a very good price. On the other hand side, if the market is hot, you'll probably be very frustrated with multiple offers and bidding wars. In pre-construction, there is no discount. The project is priced based on expenses, which include, but they're not limited to, the cost of land, cost of building materials, cost of labor force, cost of development fees that are charged by the city, and so on. Year over year, these expenses go up in value. So even when the resale market is down, don't expect pre-construction to follow it. The profit margin for the developer can be as low as 8%. So if the developer had to cut the price, they would work without any profit. This would automatically take us to the point where the project is being canceled. That's why it is super important to buy from a credible developer who will deliver the product. Number 10, how to get access to pre-construction. Now that I have explained quite a lot on this topic and you have a little bit better understanding of the buying process, the next thing you need to know is how to get access to a specific project where you want to purchase. Normally, the first release is to developers, friends, and family. They usually host a private event, so if you're not related to the developer, most likely you won't get invited. The second release is Platinum Access, and this is where your Uncle Sam, who is a part-time real estate agent in Kitchener, kicks in. Okay, I'm joking. Uncle Sam doesn't know much about the pre-construction. Platinum agents have a proven track record with the developer, and they are giving platinum first access to sell to their clients. This is where my team and I kick in. After the platinum stage, the remaining inventory goes to VIP agents, and during this stage the prices have already gone up. The final stage is when it goes to the public. By this time, all the incentives that platinum brokers had will be gone. If you're registered on the developer's website, most likely this is when you're going to get the access to the project. Nowadays, due to super high demand, all these amazing projects don't even get to the general public stage. If you would like to purchase a unit in a specific project, and if you would like my power team of professional agents and lawyers who specialize in pre-construction to represent you, please be welcome to fill out the form below, and it will be our pleasure to assist. All the best, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure to click like and subscribe so you don't miss out any of my future releases. See you soon in the next video. Ciao!